Alright, well I'm a little frustrated because I just spent about 20 minutes making an entire vlog about Maui, and when I pressed stop when I was finished, my computer didn't like what I did and it told me that it couldn't process the video. So I'm not going to make this vlog on my computer. I'm going to do it on my video camera because trusty old Kodak ZI-8 always seems to work out okay. But it means I have to hold the camera, which I wasn't doing before. So anyway, I've been to Maui and I went 2 years ago for my honeymoon, and I loved it. It was one of the best vacations I've ever been on in my life, and we are going to have the pleasure of going again in January. So I wanted to talk to you because I'm excited about it, and I want to talk about Maui and some of the places that I've been to, where I stayed, the stuff that I liked about it, stuff that I didn't like about it, and I'm going to recommend to you places to see and things you may not want to do. And blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna have to show you my computer screen and then come back and forth, but it's gonna be worth it. So I went to January and October, and the weather was perfect. Weather was probably around 90 to 100 degrees every day, which is hot. Yeah, it was hot, but we spent a lot of time in the water and in our bathing suits and stuff like that. You have to be ready for the heat in Maui if you're going to go during that time of the year. But the weather was beautiful, it was perfect, and at night you could walk around. You could actually go back in the water at night. And this is where we stayed. We stayed at the Sheraton Hotel, and this was in Lahaina. No, not Lahaina. What's it called? Up in here. Kanapali. Now, excuse me if I don't pronounce these words right. I am not Hawaiian, and I do not speak these words very well. But anyway, so we stayed here in Kanapali, and we stayed at the Sheraton Hotel, and I'm going to talk about some of I guess one of my most favorite places to go. My first vlog was a lot more seamless and stuff, and now I have to rethink everything. So let me talk about number one. Let's talk about the one of my favorite places to eat. Why don't we just start there, okay? One of my favorite places was the Aloha mixed plate. Now, the Aloha mixed plate was this small shack-looking in the corner restaurant. When you go there, you're like, "What? This place doesn't look all that great." But it was really good. They had some really good food. The restaurant's right on the ocean, so you get that like ocean type feeling. It's outdoors, so you're sitting on a balcony outside, and there's a balcony area, and then there's like a cement area right next to the beach here. And they serve you, their food on paper plates, so it's a little bit less, fancy, but it's good food. It's very good, Hawaiian, probably home style food that you would probably want to check out. This place is near Lahaina. Again, if you look at the road or the map here, we stayed in Kanapali. There's a whole line of hotels right along here. Big hotels, hotel strip, and Lahaina's right here. Now, Lahaina is like a small little town area. Lahaina has a lot of cool little things you can check out. There's shops, but it's very touristy area. But there's always a lot of stuff going on in Lahaina, especially during the day, probably even more during the weekends. There's people performing, there's music, there's like it's a bar atmosphere. It's kind of like a party kind of downtownish feeling atmosphere. And it's not to me when I'm there, I don't feel like I'm in Maui, but I feel like I'm just in a touristy area having a good time, which is fine, which was fun at some parts. But I really wanted to dig deeper into Maui and enjoy some of the more some of the things that Maui has to offer as far as the local stuff and the oceans itself. So one of the things that we did, which I highly recommend to you, is going on a Dolphin adventure trip. And again, I'm spinning around here and I'm popping my camera to show you this. We went on what's called the Maui Adventure Cruises Ocean Dolphin adventure trip. And we went on many boat rides. We went on lots of different snorkeling boat rides. We got to go on this other boat, and then we went on this boat. Now, this was the best trip that we took in Maui. The reason is because we all the other boats were large, and I get easily seasick. I didn't get seasick on this boat. This boat is more like a raft with a fat motor on it, and it goes fast. And you're more swaying in the ocean, more of that kind of adventure feeling trip, other than when I was on the larger boats, and those boats were more like and I got seasick on those boats. So this boat was more fun. It was a faster paced sort of thing. They did serve some fruits and stuff on the boat, which was nice. But it's not like a full dinner sort of, you get to drink on your way back sort of adventure. It was more, here we're gonna do this, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna go where the ocean takes us. I mean, obviously we knew where we were going. The boat captain had spots laid out, but she was more open to going to wherever she felt was a good place to go at the time, which was cool. I like that. And we got the opportunity, and this is very rare on this trip. Like you don't expect to see dolphins on this trip. Dolphins are cool to see on this trip. This is what I was told. But they don't always come out, and you don't always find them. So, but we had the opportunity to run into a very large pack of dolphins, and not only that, we got out of the water and we got to swim with them. And it is a really cool experience to swim with live dolphins in the oceans off of Maui. It was so cool. We literally got to dive down the water, and as they swam by, swim next to them. Now, my wife tried to reach out and touch them, but as soon as you got close, they just took off. It was pretty funny. But they don't want to be touched. But they did enjoy us, apparently. They stuck around for a long time to swim with us, and that doesn't happen very often. According to our boat captain, it happens so rarely that she was so excited she got out to swim with the dolphins too, and she made sure everyone had the opportunity to go and at least try to see them underwater. It was really cool. When you go on these trips, there's going to be a certain amount of times that you're going to see the sea turtle. You see those everywhere. They're very popular, in Maui. They're always off the coast. They're always swimming around. Some of them are really big, and but you're not allowed to touch them legally. They're an animal that Maui does not want you touching. I guess they just want to save. They don't have a whole lot of protection. I mean, someone could easily just grab them and pull them out of the water. So they're highly protected. They're cool animals. They're cool because they don't care about you. They'll swim right up to the coast, and they'll just swim right by mass groups of people in the water. And you can go up and you can check them out. You can look at them underwater. You can swim right next to them. You just can't, legally touch them. But if you did, they probably wouldn't care because they're just slow and they're just swimming along, minding their own business. They're pretty funny to watch. But they're cool. On some of our other boating trips, we also got to swim with gigantic manta ray, which were freaky. They are big, and I'm not used to swimming next to anything that large underwater. They're harmless, but they're big. We got to swim with so many different types of tropical fish. I got to see eels, stingray, just everything that you would imagine you could see underwater. We didn't get to see whales, but we weren't there during the whale season, so there is whales out there to be seen. I believe you'll see them more end of October, November, and December, probably during the winter months. I'm not exactly sure, but that's what I was told. So anyway, definitely check out Maui Adventure Cruises, the Dolphin Adventure. It cost, I think it was like $90 for a ticket, but it was well worth it. It was well worth it for us. So that was really cool. The next thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go on the Road to Hana. And this brings me back to a point that I skipped earlier in this vlog, which is make sure you rent a vehicle. Now, you don't have to, but if you want to go do some cool stuff and you want to see some cool things, you're going to want to rent a vehicle. I mean, Maui is a small island, yes. Like I said, we stayed up here in Kanapali, and there's a whole strip of hotels here with lots of things to see and do. And sure, you could get not get a vehicle and just, have the hotel come pick you up at the airport and take you to your hotel room. But you're going to be stuck in this general area. Sure, you might be able to walk to Lahaina. That's a pretty good long walk, though. I don't even know if you would even want to attempt that. But you're going to be stuck in this general area right here, and that's cool, and it's beautiful and everything, and very relaxing. But there's so many parts of Maui that you're going to want to go check out that you're not going to want to miss. And I would hate to hear that you went to Maui and didn't rent a vehicle and didn't get to do some of these things. And one of the things is the Road to Hana. Now, the Road to Hana is a very long car ride. You want to spend a whole entire day doing this, but it's worth it. It takes you to some of the most tropical, just neatest places that you can see on Maui. This is where you really get to experience what the island is about, like what it probably was before we got in there and started inhabiting it and kind of tearing down a bunch of parts of Maui. There are parts where you're driving high up in mountains where it's just raining all the time. There's parts where it reminds you of something from a movie. It's so beautiful. It's so neat. And that was one of the photos I just showed you here was the bridge. There are these bridges that you drive across in Maui or on the Road to Hana. And they're like single lane bridges. So as you pull up, you have to pull off to the side while another car pulls through. So the roads are a little bit freaky. But as you can see here from this photo, I mean, it's like tropical island. It's just so neat. I can't even describe it. These are some photos here of places while you're driving on the Road to Hana, and they call it the Road to Hana because it takes you to this little town called Hana. So that's really neat. Definitely something you need to do. Big tip for you though, if you're gonna do the Road to Hana, make sure you wake up early in the morning and do it. Don't do what we did. We woke up and took our sweet time and left probably a little bit later, like between 12 and 2. I don't even remember, probably 12-ish. 2 would be very late. And the whole trip itself is gonna be a good 8 to 10 hour drive. So, and we made the mistake of driving all the way in and not knowing that where it stops or if you turn around or whatever. We heard that you turn around, and we got to a point where the driving started to get really freaky because you start to drive along cliffs and stuff, and we got freaked out and we decided to turn around and go back. Well, that itself was a mistake because it got dark and those lanes are scary and they're fast and they're very small, and the locals drive those lanes just they take off. So if you're gonna go on the Road to Hana, which you need to, you're going to want to get up early, 6, 7-ish, and get going in the morning so that you can experience everything that the Road to Hana has to offer. Make sure you pick up a tour CD, because a tour CD you can put in your car as you're driving the Road to Hana, and it'll tell you about all the places that you're looking at. It'll tell you kind of where to go if you want to see some of the things off the main road. And it was definitely worth it because we got to see some cool stuff, and don't miss the opportunity to do that and to see that. Anything else about the Road to Hana? What you might be saying, well, what's there to see? Well, like I said, there's lots of little beautiful areas. There's waterfalls. There's black beaches. There's the what do they call it? The sacred pools, which are like pools of water with a waterfall. It's really neat. So go check it out. Definitely worth it. Just the drive itself is worth it. Even if you don't want to get out of your car, which you should, but if you can't or don't want to, it's still worth the drive. So anyway, one more food place I'm going to talk about. Went here on our way out of Maui, and it's called Da Kitchen. And Da Kitchen was recommended to us by another local. Now I say local by somebody who lives there. To be honest with you, we spent a lot of time in Maui. We were there about a week and a couple days. And we met people who were locals, but they all came from California. They moved to Maui. I didn't really see a whole lot of Maui, Hawaiian people. You know, it was all very mainlandish, as they would call it over there, the mainland. Lots of people, you know, knew where I was from, knew my town. One guy grew up right over here, just 10 minutes down the road, that I talked to, who now lives in Maui. So I met a lot of people from the mainland here who moved to Maui. So it wasn't necessarily a very big cultural shock. You don't really get that in Maui, especially if you're going to spend a lot of time near the hotel strip, or even most of the island. I'm sure isn't really that big of a culture shock. There are parts of Maui where there are like serious locals, but they don't want the tourists all up in their business. So there are roads out there on the Road to Hana where they don't want you, getting in. They say stay out of the area, respect the people. They don't want you bugging them all the time, and that makes sense. I mean, even if they're, just even if there's nothing to see, you can imagine that people would want to go and check them out and ask them questions and be like, ooh, what's it like to live on this island? But, you know, they're just like you and I. They probably just don't want to be bothered. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to be bothered if I lived there. So, anyway, one last thing to talk about. On our way out, we stopped at the kitchen, like I was saying. It is another food place. Again, it's not like a big old fancy restaurant or anything. It's a little place where they serve what I did not understand was huge plates of food. Now, I was an idiot and I wasn't ready for what I was about to receive. I ordered a chicken sandwich, and what I got were, or not, no, sorry, not a chicken sandwich, a fish sandwich. And basically what I got, this isn't a picture of what I got, but pretty much the same thing. I got about this, yeah, about 4 huge pieces of fish with 2 big buns. Now, I have been watching a whole lot of Man vs. Food at that time. So when I saw this, I got in competitive mode. I said, hey, you don't think I can eat all this? And I'm an idiot because I forgot, or maybe I didn't forget, maybe I was just too much in the moment, that we were on our way to the airport to take a plane back to the United States, and it was a red-eye flight. So basically I stuffed myself with as much of this food as possible and then got onto a 5 to 6 hour plane ride. That wasn't a good idea. That was horrible. Don't recommend it. But I do recommend checking out the kitchen. The food was really good. It's near the airport. If you're landing in the center of Maui, which you most likely will, it's very near the airport. So make sure that you go there. You might want to go there when you land, get some food there, and then head off to wherever it is you need to go. But definitely check out the kitchen. So again, starting over, love Maui, cool place. Some places that I want to go check out next time I go there are going to be the Maui Brewing Company. I love a lot of local beers. San Diego is known for local beers, and I've tried so many over here. I've had the Maui beer. I actually had a Maui beer in Maui, but I never went and checked out the brewery. So I want to go check out the brewery this time. And we're gonna, I guess there's some zip lining that you can do there. There's a thing where you can get to the top of a mountain and ride a bicycle all the way down, which is, and then stop at a few places. So we want to do that. So there's some cool places to check out. Some of my friends want to go check out a kava bar, which is kind of weird. Go check that out. Research that. It may not be something you'd be totally interested in, but it's something that's, I guess, that's actually an old cultural thing from Maui that you might actually want to look into. But anyway, so Aloha mixed plate. Go there, eat there, enjoy that area. Check out Lahaina if you want to. Definitely probably worth it just because it's a nice little townish city downtown feeling. Really pretty, lots of cool things to see and to do there. Make sure you go on the Dolphin adventure trip. If you don't know where to look for that or where to sign up, go to Lahaina, go to one of those places where you can sign up to go do the different trips and sign up to do that trip. If you don't know how to explain it, say it's the Dolphin adventure, say you want to go on the raft, they'll know what you're talking about. So basically, do that. Do the Road to Hana, rent a car, don't get stuck on one little area of the island. Make sure you do a lot of walking, check out all the beaches, get in the water, bring a snorkel. You gotta go snorkeling. You have to go snorkeling. Don't not do that. And enjoy yourself. Relax. Spend some time just, on the beaches and enjoy the nice weather over in Maui. So anyway, hopefully I can upload this vlog. I know that was really long, but for somebody who's actually looking to go to Maui, that would actually be a lot of cool information to know. So maybe after I get back from Maui next in January, I will make another vlog, and maybe I'll show you some video and stuff from Maui. But nonetheless, I'm done with this vlog. Hopefully that was helpful to some people who are going to Maui. Enjoy yourself, and maybe I'll see you there in January. That'd be weird. All right, later.